So it all started with a schwitz. About 10 years ago, my boss, Edgar Bronfman, was taking a schwitz with a friend who happened to be a brain surgeon. And his friend turned to him and he said, "You know, I'm a pretty smart guy. So why is it that every time I ask a question about Judaism, I'm made to feel stupid? Why can't I just go online and find the information that I want?" The conversation inspired Edgar to address the following question. In a world where fewer people are turning to rabbis, how do we create a space online for people to learn about Judaism on their own terms? At the time, the web did offer information about Judaism, but it was predominantly through the lens of ultra-Orthodox institutions. There were no pluralistic sources of Jewish information online that people could access. Edgar then came back to the foundation, and he asked us to figure out a solution. And the Samuel Bronfman Foundation turned around and offered a grant to an academic institution to develop a pluralistic website focused on delivering relevant and compelling Jewish content. That website would eventually become myjewishlearning.com. So those of you familiar with My Jewish Learning Today know that it is a collection of websites that together are the leading trans-denominational sources of Jewish information and education online. MJL's mission is to leverage the internet to spread knowledge of Jewish religion, history, values, traditions, and culture in a manner that is meaningful and accessible to people of all backgrounds, empowering them to navigate Jewish life with confidence and creativity. What you may not know is that MJL was not always what it is today. And knowing today what MJL has achieved just over the last few years, we can look back 10 years and identify 3 key mistakes that we made and extract a few lessons from what we know now. I'm missing a slide. The slide says academic versus relevant. Our first mistake was rooted in the type of content that we collected and shared. Our audience was interested in relevant, compelling material to help them experience Judaism in a meaningful way. But instead of creating exciting new content, we addressed a new world problem with old world tools. And we provided existing authoritative definitions that were uninteresting and unrelatable. We invested tremendous amounts of time trying to partner with institutions who would certify our product, who would mark it as credible, who would essentially give it a hechsher. But we failed to understand that, as we know today, the internet functions without credibility. People can and will turn to your content even if it doesn't have authority from an institution out there. Another missing slide. Institutional versus online. Our second mistake was distributing content through institutions. We assumed that institutions would be the best avenue to reach people because at the time, that's how Judaism in America was being tracked, through institutional affiliation. It was additionally easier for us. Distributing content through an established, well-connected, influential institution was the most concrete way for us to know how many people we would be reaching. So for example, if Hillel sent our content in its newsletter to 1,000 people, then we know 1,000 people have received our content. Unfortunately, we didn't fully appreciate that this new demographic was not connecting to Judaism through institutions. We didn't understand that the power of the internet is that you can go directly to the consumer without relying on others to drive traffic for you. We failed to understand that technology itself was the ideal gateway to our audience. Self-contained versus leveraged. Lastly, the product we developed was neither resilient nor adaptable. We created a self-contained and self-referential website that did not leverage the web and all that it had to offer. All of the content was synced within our website and did not connect to other online communities. We did not realize the power in developing relationships with other websites and how that would drive traffic and increase our searchability. We missed the opportunities that the web had to offer, and we created a product that was not adaptable, was not resilient, and was not adaptive to how technology was evolving. As a foundation, we started to think of the Jewish community more holistically. We started to think about how this technology could help reach those least affiliated with organized Judaism and not those connecting to Judaism through institutions. This also coincided with our realizing that the best methodology to reach an audience is through personal products designed for the consumer. Today, this shouldn't come as a surprise. We all know that the best way of doing engagement involves going to people where they are and not waiting for them to come to you. So we've extracted a few lessons that I think are generally relevant. So I'm not going to go into the nuts and bolts of websites and what websites are doing, but here's some of the things that we pulled out of it. When thinking about new ideas, tap into different networks, even if they're unfamiliar, and be open to concepts of community, of new concepts of community and identity. Although it's challenging, especially in this field, make sure you have a thorough understanding of your market before creating a product. It's also crucial to developing a resilient product in tandem with what's happening in society today. And finally, try not to get too invested in one particular model or product. It's much more important to create something that's adaptive and resilient. And those are the lessons that went into rebranding and recreating My Jewish Learning. And had we not gone through our failure, My Jewish Learning would not be flourishing the way it is today.